Texas Congressman Roger Williams. He's the chair of the Small Business Committee and sits on the House Financial Services Committee.
Hi, guys.
So, Congressman, your reaction to ICE agents getting out of the airports, obviously the job done that they were intending to do, but we still don't have a job done to get DHS funded fully. Is that ever going to happen?
Well, I think it will. I think we're going to have a big movement this week when we get back to get it funded. And it just shows the ICE agents are flexible. They do great things. They did make a huge difference by being in the airports and how moving things along. And I think that we get back this week, we'll have that to talk about and get these people paid like we should. The government should not be holding back pay on anybody that works for the government. It's doing a service that these people are.
You know, well, first, I'm one of your constituents. I live in your district and get your weekly newsletter. But I want to turn to your position on the Small Business Committee, because that has been such a help. Income tax filing deadline fast approaching next week, April 15th. Now that the 20% small business tax deduction is permanent, how do you make sure that the local baker or the freelance graphic designer can actually figure out how to claim it without having to pay a really expensive accountant?
Well, that's always a good question. You know, the taxes, we always say we're going to make a shorter form. It's going to be this size, that size, but it never gets that way. I think that it's going to be easier for people to understand that. I mean, the big, beautiful bill has done wonders for Main Street America. I mean, I travel all over the country, plus I'm a small business owner, but we have made the tax cuts permanent. We've cut regulations drastically, not only for individuals, but for banks. We saved the community banks from the Biden administration by cutting their regulations. We got 100% expensing for businesses, which is huge. You know, a lot of people don't even talk about the fact we saved the family farm. We take the inheritance tax from 15 million to 30 million per couple. I mean, that's a huge thing.
That was huge, yeah.
Generational businesses. And then you got no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. And, you know, you're familiar with Fort Worth, and I was eating the other night, and a lady came up to me, a waitress, and thanked me for passing the bill on no tax on tips because she could send her daughter now to cheerleading school. So when you hear stories like that, it's working, and business attitude is good. I mean, we're seeing more startups than we've ever seen before. The SBA loans are up more than they have ever been before. So people are excited about it and ready to get going. And as you know, small business is 75% of the workforce and payroll. So things look pretty good and will look better as we get some interest rate deductions also.
Yeah, so one of the areas in the bill that really helps small business owners is their ability to write the full cost off of big purchases. And so now we're actually seeing a lot of small shop owners, manufacturers going out buying new trucks, new tools, new machinery to grow their operations, which is actually helping even create even more jobs.
Well, it does. It creates more jobs. It creates more cash. I'm in the automobile business. You mentioned buying trucks. I mean, we see people all the time now buying something because they can deduct it 100%. And when they can deduct it, it creates more cash for them to go buy something more. And the person that built that purchase, and everybody benefits from it. So the 100% expensing is a huge deal for everybody. And we're seeing it work immediately now as people come and purchase things that they may not have done maybe before the end of the year or not at all.
Well, I know that no tax on tips things is popular because one of my daughters works for tips, so she appreciates that. But I've got a son who teaches two-step dance lessons about 4 times a month. And I know that there is a way for people who are doing small, side hustle gigs or are driving Ubers or Lyfts or whatever to also benefit from the new tax situation. So what do they need to know about this for tax season?
Well, I think that they just need to know there's opportunities out there, and if they have questions, they should ask them. But all the people you just met, your family members, can take advantage of this. I think one thing we need to do is we need to do a better job of explaining the big, beautiful bill to people. I was somewhere yesterday, and a waitress didn't know that she could deduct her tips. Mm-hmm. We need to do a better job at explaining and talk about how it actually increases cash flow in America and creates more taxpayers, because if you're an employer like me, you have ability now to hire more people and get more work out. So it funnels down to more cash flow, more opportunity, more taxpayers for the country, which is what we want.
All right. Texas Congressman Roger Williams, thank you very much. Now I know where to go get the Newsmax truck discount.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm Sean Kreisman. For stories and content just like this, check out National Report weekdays 9 to noon, only on Newsmax.